Hey, what is up guys, and welcome back to my channel. That is right, George Achillea back with another banger, and this time we are previewing the Leicester game for this weekend's Premier League. Now, we also have a very special guest on the show that's going to be talking a little bit later on about Leicester, about their season and what he reckons it's going to be like. And it's Jame Vardy. I'm kidding. It's not really Jame Vardy. It's Lee Chappy. He's a great guy. Obviously got known for looking a lot like Jame Vardy, and you'll see why in a second. But yeah, he's going to give his thoughts in a mo. But first, I'm going to go through what I think Spurs are going to do this weekend, how we're going to line up, and what's been going right or wrong so far this season. So to begin with, I'm going to say that our season feels like it's been a very average start, because we got draws away at City, Arsenal, but we lost to Newcastle, which is obviously a massive defeat. However, normally I would think that a draw away to City and a draw away to Arsenal would be great results, considering that we lost both of them last year. But all of this hinges on the result of Newcastle at home. If we had won that game, we'd be off to a flying start, in my opinion, especially with 4-0 wins against Crystal Palace, a win against Aston Villa. If we had that win against Newcastle, we would not be complaining one bit, because realistically, a draw away to Man City, the best team in the country, which they've won the league back-to-back, there's no denying it, that's a great result. And then the Emirates just felt like such a defeat because we were 2-0 up and blew it away, which obviously there's no excuse for that. But in the grand scheme of things, a draw at the Emirates isn't a terrible result. And let's be honest, we have more points than we did at this point last year, and the fact that we got results against Arsenal and City is very positive. So I think we need to all be a little bit more up spirit about the start. Yes, it's a bit annoying and frustrating throwing those wins away, like we did Olympiacos, which is a vlog you can see in the link in the description. But it was because it's frustrating throwing those leads away and then losing to Newcastle. It just doesn't feel great. However, it's not a terrible start. We're sitting well in third. And I think if we can get a win against Leicester, that will be a great result. Because let's be honest, they're actually a pretty decent team. So I'll be very happy if we can get a result. But let's go into a bit about the team news. So the only players that are going to be out are Lo Celso and Sessegnon. Both of them are out on injuries. I think Sessegnon's a hamstring and Lo Celso is hip. However, we have a lot more players back, and our bench is finally actually looking pretty decent. With the likes of Ndombele back, and you've got Son, Lucas, Dele Alli back, I mean, Eriksen, Kane, there's plenty of firepower going forward. So the fact that we're going to have a few of those on the bench is very positive, because let's be honest, last year, our bench was awful. We didn't have anyone that could really come on to change the game, apart from Llorente towards the latter stages of last season. And considering that Poch left Rose and Aurier at home during the Champions League, which I still think is a mistake, but he did it anyway, is almost guaranteeing their start this weekend. So I think the fullbacks are obviously going to be Rose and Aurier, Lloris in goal, and it's got to be Vertonghen and Toby centre-backs. Sanchez's performance, despite it being out right back, wasn't centre-back his favourite position, was still very poor against Olympiacos and against Arsenal. So I don't think he should be playing. I think he'll be on the bench. Then we move into the midfield. I believe Winks deserves a start, because him and Lucas were the only two good players that played against Olympiacos, in my opinion. So I think it'll be Winks. Ndombele will start again, like he did Olympiacos, and Sissoko. So that then leaves us with the front three, which in my opinion is going to be Lucas, Kane, and Son. Sonny was obviously on fire last week in the Premier League, and Lucas did very well against Olympiacos, scoring a great goal. And you cannot drop a man like Harry Kane. Scores every week. If we get a penalty, you know it's going in the back of the net. So he's definitely going to guarantee a start. Which that means that Eriksen has been left on the bench, in my opinion, because he had an awful game against Olympiacos. His games have been on and off recently. Some of them have been very good performances. Some of them have been poor. So I think you're going to have to drop him. But then that means on the bench, you've got Eriksen, Dele Alli, Lamela. You've got a lot of people going forward. So the only other difference I can maybe see is not playing all of Winks, Sissoko, and Ndombele at the same time. It might be the case that Winks and Sissoko start and Ndombele is on the bench, and then that allows Dele Alli to play or Eriksen to play. So I think it's going to be one of those two options, really. So it's effectively switching from a 4-3-3 to a 4-2-3-1. But regardless, that's a lot of people on the bench that can go forward. You've also got the likes of Dyer and Yama to be able to hold off a game if we're only 1-0 ahead towards the end. And then obviously the likes of Davies and Carl Walker-Peters and Sanchez as defensive options potentially. So all in all, I think it's a very good squad, to be fair. And Leicester, for me, the only worry is really going to be Jame Vardy. We all know he loves to score goals. He's a great goal scorer. Scored quite a few against Spurs. And Leicester away is one of my favourite trips. It's not too far away. Good couple of hours. It's a decent little ground to go to. And for the most part, we tend to get results. So it'll be good to see Sonny and Kane, Lucas, all that getting on the score sheet. So it's going to be a tasty game, but they've got a bit of pace this year. They've got a bit of pace. So we need to watch out for that. Hope that Vardy doesn't score. But apart from that, I think we're going to get a decent result. I think we're going to go win. I think there's going to be a lot of goals because defensively we've been shaky recently, but we're pretty good going forward. So I'm going to say it's the 3-2 Spurs win. That is my opinion. I think Kane's going to get on the score sheet. I think each of Kane, Lucas and Son will get on the score sheet this weekend. And I think Jame Vardy will score for them, but I think the other one will be one of their midfielders. I'm not too sure. I just think it'll be a different player. But yeah, that's how I think this game's going to go. It's time to pass you on to Jame Vardy, aka Lee Chappy, so that he can tell his side of things, what he thinks Leicester are going to do and what his opinion of Spurs are. I'm going to leave you with that, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Hi, thanks for having me on your channel, mate. So Leicester season so far, it's been... I thought it was going to be a slow start, to be honest. You know, with the draw against Wolves and draw against Chelsea as well. One of the top 6 sides that we're basically trying to outdo and secure a top 6 spot. You know, then we beat the Blades and also beat Bournemouth as well, which was a comfortable win, I thought, against Bournemouth. We looked very, very good going forward. Attacking threat was dangerous by especially Vardy. And Tielemans, for me, is the one that hasn't shown his worth for £40 million, which is a massive signing, by the way, for Leicester City Football Club. A little bit worried that he's not going to fit in eventually. He looked great and looked class at the end of the season, but it just doesn't seem to have shown his £40 million price tag value as of yet. And then, of course, we played Manchester United at Old Trafford, and to be honest with you, it wasn't a great game for either sides, and that could have gone either way. If we got a penalty and we won 1-0, I'd say the same thing. Both sides were poor. We didn't turn up. They got the penalty. They did what they had to do. They sat back with 11 men. We couldn't break them down, which is something that Leicester struggles with, to break down teams. I still don't understand why we find that difficult with players like Maddison and Tielemans in the middle, with Wilfred Ndidi holding behind them as a defensive midfielder. And we've got pace as well in this side. You know, we've got Harvey Barnes, who's very quick, Ricardo Pereira as well, Ben Chilwell's quite quick, Jame Vardy's fat. We've got a lot of pace in this squad, so I don't understand why we shouldn't be breaking teams down yet. We don't have a plan B either. If you take Jame Vardy out of the game, we are left with nothing up top. There's no aerial threat. We don't have a second option in the air. That used to be coming from Harry Maguire at set pieces, and that's now missing. We don't have a head to aim at because that slab head was massive. So there is that as well, which is a weakness for us, I suppose, with the aerial threat, which also affects us at the back, I think, as well, maybe, with no defensive capabilities in the air like Harry Maguire. That's where you could hit us. Harry Kane's got a decent head on him, so maybe you'll catch us out in the air. But I'm worried about Son. He's been absolutely phenomenal so far. The only thing, I think, the advantage that we have is that it's a home fixture here, and also that you've been to the Champions League. You've had to fly to Greece to come back, and it's an early kickoff. So hopefully you guys are knackered. That's what I'm hoping for, that our pacey players, even someone like Demarai Gray might get subbed on and outdo you for pace near to the end of the finish of the match. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm going for a mad goal score for predictions, though. I'm going 3-3. So yeah, that's my predictions. 3-3. I think Son's going to get some. That's the key man I'm worried about, Son. If we can take him out, I think we might have a good chance at home against you guys. Thank you for letting me on your channel. You can hit the subscribe button on my channel. Please do that. I'm sure you'll drop the description in the video below. And follow me at Lee_Chappy. Don't be scared to meet me outside the ground as well. Do video content over there as well, outside the ground at the King Power Stadium, usually around the Blues Bar. I'll see you all Saturday, and hopefully I'll catch up with you soon, mate.
No, there ain't no stopping us. Fly without boarding pass. Couldn't catch me, I be moving fast. Call me a shooting star.